Guys, I'm back with my catalogs, and I want to shoot kind of a quick comparison video, kind of wall hung toilets versus floor mount toilets. And of course, floor mount toilets are very familiar. It's pretty rare to see a wall hung toilet in a house, although they do exist. Your wall hung toilets are pretty much for your commercial world, and there's a reason for that. Wall hung, floor mount toilets are simple. They just sit on the floor, and the plumbing is very simple. This is actually a side note. This is actually what we call a dual mount toilet, where it sits on the floor, but sometimes they drain out the back, and sometimes they drain out the floor. One reason for these, they were marketed for institutions, maybe a jail or a state hospital or something. Sometimes people have a tendency to maybe grab a hold of a toilet and rip it off the floor, or maybe hide things behind a regular floor mount toilet. So I think part of the reason why dual mount toilets came out a long time ago was maybe to help eliminate some of those issues. That's as far as I understand anyway. But floor mount toilets are simple. They just sit on the floor. They're pretty easy. If there's any disadvantages of a floor mount toilet, it's that the waste pipe or the soil pipe has to be in the floor, so you have to have plumbing in the floor. Sometimes that can be inconvenient. And in a commercial toilet stall, you've got to clean around the base of that toilet, and a toilet stall is not very big. And if you have something like a school or a factory or an office building with lots and lots of toilet stalls, somebody has to clean all of those. You have to mop the floor around the toilet, and it tends to be one of those places that gets grungy, and it's kind of high maintenance. And so that's why wall hung toilets exist. There are also applications where sometimes it's inconvenient or not possible to put plumbing in the floor under the toilets, and so all the plumbing goes in the wall. So that can be an advantage, especially in a commercial building. Wall-hung toilets are not actually hung from the wall itself, but they're hung from a metal bracket called a carrier that's behind the wall. And the wall itself that you see is totally independent from the toilet, for the most part. And so the biggest advantage of a wall-hung toilet is that if you're cleaning a public bathroom, you can swipe your mop right underneath the toilet, and it's easy to clean from one to the next. And that's also why most commercial toilet stalls don't go to the floor, is because they're easy to mop and clean under. In fact, sometimes you'll see toilet stalls that don't touch the floor at all. Sometimes they're totally hung from the ceiling and the wall. And that's why. It's just to make cleaning more efficient. And generally it makes wall-hung fixtures are easier to clean. That's the main reason. Yeah. Pretty much the function is the same. There's blowout wall hungs and siphon jet wall hungs. Got your blowouts here, and then siphon jets. A disadvantage of the wall hung toilets is cost. the toilets themselves are not really expensive compared to a floor mount. A Kingston, for example, costs about as much as a High Crest. But the carrier fitting that goes behind each and every toilet, a typical commercial carrier probably costs in the neighborhood of probably $300 for a cheap one. There are residential grade carriers that are designed to mount actually in a wooden stud wall. Those are probably about the same. And some carriers could be up to $1,000. So you need a carrier for every toilet. And then there's the added cost that it costs to pay a plumber to install each and every carrier. And so wall hung toilets are not cheap compared to a floor mount toilet. They're not cheap to install with regard to the bill when the whole job, the whole installation is done. That said, something else interesting is, in case anybody's wondering, I think a typical wall-hung toilet can support about 500 pounds. I think a typical commercial wall-hung carrier is rated for 500 pounds. They have carriers that will hold up to 750 and maybe even up to 1,000 pounds. And sometimes you'll see the huge, like, stainless steel bariatric toilets that you might see in hospitals for heavier people. But that's something else that's kind of interesting. I mean, that's a lot of weight. So that's kind of cool. And I think that's about it. I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the video.